Welcome, everyone, one last time for the spring of 2025 to some NECC Valorant. My name is Possible. I'm with Vincent, and today we got a special treat for you, a best of 5 grand finals. It's nationals, and it's going to be a long haul today. Vincent, this is going to be a good day, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm ready for this, man. It's been a journey to get here, no doubt. We got two awesome teams. We got Fisher EU and uOttawa Garnet going to be here in the finals. And you know what, man? I think what's most exciting about a best of 5 is that we've actually had a really wide array of map pool changes throughout this this regular season and into the national season, like more so than usual, right? Like 2 changes overall, and we've got another one set today.
Now we get one more right under the wire. Fracture gone. We get Sunset instead. Hey, maybe someone will get a win on Sunset today. We got Fisher EU and uOttawa Garnet. Fisher coming from the upper bracket, pretty much undefeated during NECC this semester. I mean, great players too. I mean, these guys could practically be playing in the Div 1 section, if I'm being honest. Psych, Black Moose, Ale, Dory, and Samo, all just absolute monsters.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, you know, many of these players have done that in the past. With the likes of Psych, of Dory, etc. Here's how the veto shaped up. For me, expectation-wise, I thought there was 2 certainties in this series, that we would certainly see Icebox and we would certainly see Haven. Everything else was more up in the air. But uOttawa Garnet did a very nice thing for us all, and they banned Ascent. Just want a quick round of applause. Shout out uOttawa Garnet.
I'm biased caster now. I am rooting for uOttawa Garnet. No, we just see Ascent a lot.
Right there.
We see it a lot in collegiate Valorant, so I'm glad to see that. I think it's a good way to play a little bit southpaw too, right? To do something unexpected. So many collegiate teams come into, especially a long series like a best of 5, right? You come into a series like this, you think, oh well, we just simply have to be playing Ascent. How could we not be playing Ascent out of 5 maps? But they knocked that one off, and now I think, yeah, I agree. The map pool gets a little bit more wily without Ascent in it.
Yeah, and listen, let's kind of dive into some of the details, because uOttawa Garnet, man, I think we know a lot about this Fisher EU team, so I want to focus in on uOttawa for a second, because they're a team that has done a lot of like revenge tours over the course of this season. It's kind of cool, because they were in D3 actually in the fall semester. Was able to take big wins over there. Unfortunately, lost in the finals to Mizzou. So they're hoping to make it a little bit different this time around here at nationals. That's very cool. But you know, the step up from D3 to D2, that's very cool in and of itself. And then to make nationals from there, that's lovely. And then to be in the finals, even better. But even more interesting than that, Tiffin knocked him out in the first upper round game, and then they had to run it back against Tiffin in the lower bracket final in order to get here. That's incredible. And on the way there, they beat Mizzou, who knocked them out of the finals last time. That's absolute cinema right there, man.
Not only did they get their revenge against Mizzou, but Mizzou was still seeded 2nd coming into nationals, right? So they beat the 1 seed. Unbelievable that they were able to take down Mizzou, and then they beat the 3 seed in Tiffin. So if uOttawa can pull off yet another upset today, I mean, there would hardly be a more righteous win than beating the 1, 2, and 3 seeds. It would be absolutely, actually 1, 2, 3, and 4, because they beat Tim, and 5 actually. Well, 5 was an FF, but either way, they would technically beat every seed above them. We are headed into Icebox to start things off, and ooh, okay, I'm already very interested in the slight difference between these 2 compositions. Mostly the same. This is what we see a lot of college teams run with what Fisher is running, but Ottawa Garnet go first. Tiny adaptation. God Bucky Abuser 69, which is maybe the greatest name I've ever had the pleasure of saying, but it's way too long of a name. He's on the ISO instead of the Jet.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of an adjustment. I think the perspective on how you look to play this composition doesn't particularly change that much with that swap up. But regardless, it's a little bit of a move towards B here for the offense. uOttawa gonna lead the charge, but Samo is going to start this one off strong. Croissant goes down already.
I mean, how quickly, though, uOttawa have gotten all the way up here on B. At least playing off that contact from A. Not letting their teammate die in vain, or at least for the moment, but that was the spike carrier. I mean, Sponge Elf. Oh, I thought he snuck into such a cheeky spot, but great clear from Dory. Prevents anything from going awry. And wow, Fisher just make it look clinical.
Yeah, I think that, you know, we kind of didn't get to touch on expectations too much under this. You alluded to this being a potential upset for uOttawa if they were to come away victorious. But like as a general rule, this Fisher EU team has had a ton of reps here in national season. You know, we've had all these opportunities for them to get games in. And whilst this is Black Moose in for Rex Skater, I don't think that particularly matters. I was kind of talking in the green room that like Black Moose might even like be in better individual form right this second.
Yeah, he's doing great.
You know, based on what we've seen in the past like 4 weeks. So I don't think that's a particular big deal, but it is important to know.
And I've been casting Black Moose on the Sova specifically for a long time. He does a phenomenal job. Samo does get traded out here, which allows Sponge Elf Shirt to come online. I mean, these names are ridiculous. Ooh, nice pick too. This is a little bit more bloody than I think Fisher were anticipating. They didn't buy super heavily into this. This Guardian is the most important one, and Psyche makes it work. One more for him. A nice wide swing, but that won't throw him off. Croissant gets cooked.
That sounds so tasty. Ooh.
I'd love a toasted croissant right now.
Yeah, like a nice ham and cheese.
Oh, see, I was thinking like a chocolate croissant.
Okay, that could go hard too. Yeah, we should stop. I'm getting even more hungry.
We have a long best of 5 in front of us, and we're not going to get food for a long time.
That's right.
Fisher, though, they managed to keep the important guns on the board, even getting a rifle here for Samo. Actually, a couple rifles for both the duelists. I think they're going to play pretty aggressively here in mid, Vincent.
I think they are, and I think that in general, we're going to see that as a theme, right? Fisher want to play aggressive, and usually they're going to do that until you stop them. So it's going to be up to uOttawa Garnet to actually make that happen. Right now, they don't meet anything. Everyone looking towards this B site, and they're taking space fast. It's going to really be up to this one defender, the Viper, and Sight goes down with nothing.
Good work from Croissant there. And again, Sponge Elf Shirt is trying to go for this really forward tuck. Spots the foot, but his barrel gets spotted. And there goes the planter again. How does Black Moose get that twice in a row?
Oh, man, that Viper wall is just kind of deadly, devastating oftentimes when you're in that position. You can spam through it quite easily. APL able to bring one back, and so this is still very approachable. Not over just yet.
Nice shock dart, though, from Black Moose. Using the info garnered from the recon dart. I was thinking about doing it again. Wow, even the rifle getting tossed up to him. Nice teamwork there from Samo and Black Moose. And with 2 players standing, enough rifles on Fisher. I mean, this is hardly even the bonus round anymore. They have the better weaponry, the higher firepower. And I don't even think this... I mean, you can't feel confident planting here, even with the Viper wall up. After the last couple of times, they're going to try and turn and fight. They know Dory's hanging around over here somewhere, but they can't quite pin him down. Ooh, trying to find Samo. Wide swing doesn't quite get him, but a good trade from Black Moose up top. And he'll do the cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very difficult position. I really don't blame uOttawa Garnet for being in, you know, not winning in that scenario, man down, in addition to the difficult positioning. Black Moose just in such a supreme spot. It's difficult to disengage him from that upper position to begin with from heaven, but like even beyond that, when he's got teammates down on lower, both taking contact, and then there's nanoswarms in the mix too, that make it difficult to like put pressure by getting even a spike fake for that matter. That's nearly impossible, and the ultimate situation for uOttawa Garnet just ever in a good spot.
And as we go into an eco here, oh, I mean, that's a nice shot from Bucky Abuser. And I actually wanted to talk about this ISO because I think this pick is one of the reasons we've been seeing that I wouldn't say be lean, technically, but more of a B lean than you normally see. I mean, Icebox is 90% the A site a lot of the time, especially in collegiate. So the fact that uOttawa have already gone that way twice, I think plays into the fact that they have this ISO, or had it rather, in this round, because those shields can walk you down B long so effectively. But Fisher have been doing a great job not even contesting for that, just fighting on the site instead, and basically interrupting the plants. I mean, it's a nice attempt here from Croissant. But yeah, 4-0 for Fisher. And now that we go into another gun round for uOttawa Garnet, we've got to see something different from them.
Yeah, they've been really slow about their approaches, really B-centric too. You know, not that that's like inherently a problem or anything, but like the A side of the map hasn't even been touched by this offense, which again, I feel like that's a weird point to make, but it's still kind of different way.
Samo, put it away.
Stop it.
Put that away.
Guys,
You cut that out right now.
Best of 5, okay? We got a long.
It's only round 5, Samo. Why are you bringing out the Odin? Oh my. Oh, it's for an under 2. No, it's. Yeah, I think it's for an under 2 play. Or maybe even a top of 2 play. Top of 2 with the Odin is maybe the most ridiculous thing I've seen today. And that's saying something.
Quite absurd.
Either way, I mean, because they go for that mid play, Fisher EU, Ottawa Garnet are just going to be getting free reign of the A site here.
Yeah, they're thinking, hey, well, why didn't we go here earlier? This is like easy or something? Just kidding. Don't worry. Gonna get there. Oh no, it's so bad. Ale gets in there in time, and with that down, the spike denied. Words cannot describe how frustrating that can be as Black Moose continues to pour on the pressure. APL is all alone.
I mean, APL at least gets to the backside of the turret here, but look, is even being watched for. It's jiggled. Psyche gonna win that fight. APL caught a bit off guard here. And I mean, Fisher just look like they have some sort of read on Ottawa. The fact that is that every time Ottawa has gone for a plant in an important round, Fisher have waited for 1 second, and then 3 of them attack and get a pick and kill the spike planter. And it seems like Ottawa aren't prepared for this tempo, this interruption that Fisher keeps going for.
Yeah, I mean, conceptually, it's just about once you've lost an area of the map, just reflood it. Once you know that, in this case, right, the spike is going down. So that means they're -1 gun. What do the numbers look like there? They're -1 at that time. It's pretty smart. And when you're talking about Fisher, they do it very efficiently too. It's very rare that they're overstepping.
Ale is in some trouble here. Yeah, that's a pretty dangerous place. Gets spammed out by APL even through the wall. So that's not a bad start for uOttawa Garnet. They have tried to buy into this round too. Lockdown, spike planted, 100 Fury just a bit late, but does get some good damage in at least. So Ottawa, they are going to have to back up, despite the fact that lockdown helped them get so much space, but it was a really early lockdown. Fisher have plenty of time to try and go for this retake.
Yeah, they're chilling. Nobody even gets detained. No one bothered at the moment. There's a kill contract available. That might be very helpful towards the end of this one for uOttawa, but
and you can get someone off the spike plant with it. Time is starting to run a little bit low. Fisher really dotted their I's and crossed their T's. One player's grab. I mean, Bucky Abuser wins that, but the spike is being defused. He has to go for it. He's too far. Is there going to be enough time? He has to kill the spike planter. Not the other one. The spike plant. Okay. Just barely is able to deal enough damage and mess with Fisher and get Ottawa on the board.
I mean, actually, the answer is no. Didn't deal enough damage. Spike goes off. That's the reason. Was too late. And that's the sad part, I think, for that one, because Fisher, awful close considering that fact. Yeah, it felt like the actual post-plant game plan there was a little more disjointed for uOttawa. The good news is they get away with it. Now, problems still are brewing. Money's good for Fisher, and if that weren't bad enough, there's the 2 Duelist ultimates ready to go. Bladestorm already gone.
Bladestorm will help buffer the economy. Easy peasy there. Interesting that Kiwis is just holding for Psyche. Psyche has pushed this up a couple of times, but it's mostly been in rounds where with an economic slant, one way or another. Drone here is going to spot Psyche. Psyche doesn't back all the way out, though. Instead, opting to go for a fight. He doesn't know about the Reyna on his left, though. Sponge Elf will easily take that one. Ale looks like he wants to go for a timing through this toxic screen, but it's actually Dory who goes for it instead. Ale playing off the contact, spamming, and then swinging afterwards. I mean, it's ebb and flow here from Fisher. They're never peaking at the same time, but that means Ottawa never know where to look.
No, it's impossible. And if it wasn't hard enough to deal with Ale, the Bladestorm over the top is adding insult to injury, one after another. And as if it was uOttawa feeling like they had started to break through, found an opening, let Fisher EU tell them first and foremost, no, actually, we had them figured out.
Again, it's that B site problem, right? Like
a little bit.
Ottawa, even though they get the first pick there, it doesn't feel like they're prepared. They're not applying enough pressure to keep Fisher away. They're putting the wall up and hoping that Fisher will kind of just sit there. But Fisher is not a team that sits there. No Fisher roster is a team that just sits there, much less Fisher EU.
These guys always willing to take a gamble, play aggressive just like that. Up against Pistol, sure, but Lucky Abuser's the only one to actually win out in those opening engagements.
Ooh.
Hold on a second. More than
Nice work
just
from
that.
the shield. That was a nice trade there. And even one more. Dory actually has gone a bit too fast. Is in a very vulnerable position. It's just on Psyche. He's going to get pulled into the kill contract. 1v1 for the round. The kill contract, a favorable angle, and he just barely gets it done.
Yeah, I think the shield, like, the Rice over actually saved Bucky Abuser right there. That's the
one
power
of the benefits.
of ISO.
Yeah, exactly. Of running the ISO instead of something like the Jet, right? It might not be as flexible, especially when you get to the defense for some of those high grounds. But when it comes to just brute forcing your way somewhere, yeah, it's going to be pretty good.
And it's kind of funny, right? Because, like, in at least one of those tools, they're, like, lined up with two of their teammates. That could have gone really wrong if it's anything but ISO.
Yeah.
So, funky as that is, that was an eco round. That was a half by, you know, pistols only there for uOttawa. And they come away victorious. They also save a bunch of those ultimates.
What a cheeky position from Sam. Doesn't manage to get Croissant. Oh, no.
You've been waiting.
I have. It's okay. Black Moose trying to pick at their lines. But meanwhile, I mean, things actually going from bad to worse here for Fisher EU. They lose mid control with Dory falling to APL. At least Psyche, again, on that flank, is controlling some of the map and giving good info to Fisher. And with Ottawa actually not finding what they wanted on the A side either. They're going to try and pivot back to B, but are they going to be able to flush out Psyche without losing too many numbers? He's going to look for it.
Ooh,
Nicely
that's
done.
great. I
Great
mean,
awareness.
That's been something that Psyche has pressed on pretty often, right? I mean, think back to even the third round of this game with the Guardian. It's absolutely been a constant factor. Frustrating.
And APL, I mean, just an annoyance here toward mid. Ale and Black Moose, they have to flush that Viper out before they can really go for much of anything. Otherwise, they're worried about him swinging all the way around even. Or just tucking in a corner somewhere.
I feel like this is already nearly unwinnable. I said that maybe a little preemptively. Black Moose, great work. Now they can
Still
speed
quite a bit of
things up.
time.
Hunter's Fury, though, that should be the kicker. That should be the big victory lap here for uOttawa, should it be necessary.
It's hard to imagine that Fisher could somehow pull Ottawa from there, especially all this post-plant utility, the Nano Swarm stalling. The tap goes out. No Hunter's Fury. They don't need it. Ottawa, nicely done. I actually love that they hold the Hunter's Fury there. They recognize that the time was too low anyways. The pressure was on Fisher, and they just go for the fights and win them, saving that critical ultimate.
Yeah, I like that too, especially when you kind of look back at how it went down, because they didn't even stick to half. Fisher, I mean, they kind of realized the round was lost and were just going for the straight-up kills, just going for the fights. They couldn't play the time. Lovely.
Ottawa fighting back into this. I mean, I was getting worried when it was 5-0, but these last couple of rounds have been very disruptive.
They have. I want to mention, though, that Fisher have a ton of ultimates of their own. Now, these individually, outside of, like, the Hunter's Fury, not usually going to be the game changer, but the Empress on both sides, uOttawa already opting into theirs. It's just shaping up to be a brawl of a round.
Empress popped very early, but Ottawa don't match pace with it. They're just hoping that Fisher will clear for info. Ooh, the angle. SpongeBob sure getting some information, but trading a bit of health for it. But you know that now that it's at least a Sheriff there, and now you've spotted Samo too. That's both Duelist A site. But it's still just prodding for Ottawa. They don't seem to want to go for anything too intense. Instead, playing mostly contact, but here comes the Hunter's Fury. They're just going to flee from that one. But with 40 seconds left on the clock, things start to get a bit dicey. APL has gotten some good space here, is clearing out, but again, it's another contact play. There's not much hard information for APL other than, hey, we can try to plant B, but we've seen how the other B rounds have gone.
It's true. The lockdown, though, might give them a little bit of much-needed coverage. Well, it's going to go both ways. Lockdown
Counter
straight.
lockdown, though. Wait.
Hunter's Fury.
Is there time to plant the spike? You have to use the Hunter's Fury to get rid of the lockdown and then bolt. But Ale is waiting. The Nano Swarm's up, too. Oh, man. They're just barely going to get that spike. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, the recon dart at the perfect moment and another Nano Swarm to stop it. Just barely enough time, but Black Moose can swing and put that spike back on the floor.
Oh no, it's the worst possible outcome here if you're uOttawa. You put everything into this, you committed it all. The chips pushed it in the middle of the table, and thousands gone in an instant. By thousands, I mean all of their ultimates, everything. Denied. That Recon Bolt, Nano Swarm, Shock Dart combo, deadly. It's devastating.
Just huge stuff. I mean, Black Moose has just been absolutely monstrous thus far. You don't even need to look at the scoreboard. You can just look at his util, and then you also look at the scoreboard, and he's fragging.
Over there.
Nuts stuff. I mean, Ottawa, they just played that round far too slow. This time, they're not going to play a slow round. They are going for it. Black Moose already caught. Samo is in a pretty cheeky spot, though. I don't think that Ottawa are going to clear this.
No, I don't think so. No way they do anymore. Samo. Oh, Samo! Grab them both!
It's free.
Ale's on the other side. A little pinch of the duelists, and it's nasty. APL will try to recover, but that Stinger. Now, a rifle, to be fair, Vandal upgrade.
But, I mean, 12 health against a 1v3. They know where he is, and he's done. Yeah, Dory got that one on lock. Fisher still maintaining a solid control of this defense. On a map, you don't necessarily think, especially with these double duelist compositions, you don't lean this to be a defender-sided map either. So, uOttawa, they started to recover after a really rough start, but if they don't manage to get a fourth here in the last round of the half, I think that they're looking at a pretty difficult recovery for the very first map. And they're going to have to do it down 2 rifles.
I mean, I think we're already looking at a, like, pretty tough half to begin with. And, yeah, like you're alluding to, it's only potential to get worse.
And to be fair, this was Fisher's first map pick, so it was the map they're most confident on, right? But
crazy that wasn't Haven. I just want to say it now.
Oh, especially, I mean, Samo's just dunking on people. Look at this wide swing. He knows they don't have the guns, man. Give him the ace, 10 HP. Just on Croissant. Ooh, ooh. Trying to shut it down. He's low. Okay, no ace. The chicken gets it instead. The turret finishing off Samo, denying the ace. But a 9-3 half still pretty good for Fisher.
We got some good funnies up the back end of that half at the very least. If not a great showing there, despite the moments in the middle of that half where uOttawa kind of bring it back, find some big moments. Huge triple kill for Bucky Abuser.
For sure.
That one round, but it felt like outside of some of those heroics, we just weren't seeing enough from uOttawa thus far.
It looked mostly like a confused attack. They went B a couple of times. They play a composition that leans to be able to play the B site, but when that fell apart so quickly, so early, I don't know. So often as well. I don't know how many more plans uOttawa felt confident pursuing.
Very execute heavy, well, I think is the other way to put that.
But they were slow on top of being execute heavy, so it led to some problems. Now they go on to their defense here. APL just trying to tuck into a corner. Wow, hunted down. Black Moose not letting him get away with squat.
Yeah, bro, they saw you. I think they might have known.
Bro, what you got a shorty for, man?
I love that confidence right there. That's Bucky Abuser confidence, and I'm here for it. I have the shield. They can't get me. I have the shield. I'll be able to close the distance. Spoiler,
they did in fact get him. The shield does not prevent you from getting the movement tag penalty. Oh, now we're going to see Bucky Abuser live up to the name. All right. This better be at least a 2K.
I'm sitting up in my seat, Paul.
I'm on my tippy toes.
Yeah,
no,
listen,
that hurts
we can't rename ourselves God Bucky Abuser 69 and then not get
kills with the Bucky. Yeah, exactly.
That would be illegal.
All right. we are zoned in on that.
That's awesome
man.
From our observer.
The owl drone doesn't actually go far enough to spot God Bucky Abuser. The bad thing, the only problem is God Bucky Abuser's on the B site.
Does it appear to be there? They're going A?
Yeah, Fisher are going A. Oh, okay. Although they lose Dory.
Oh, no, that might not matter, though. Just one more defender over in that area of the map. Gonna go 1 for 1. Yeah, it seems like it. Samo gonna handle the mid area. Deal with his croissant. That's devastating. Well, now we only have one man.
Oh, no. Hey, okay, that's the first. Oh, you dropped the Bucky. Boo. No, go for the win. Go for the win. I mean, a Bulldog here is not totally unwinnable, but yeah, your position is known. The Guardian works pretty well.
I think you run it back. You got to run it back.
You run it back with a Bucky?
Yeah, you got to do that.
I think 2,600. It looks like he's going for a stinger.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm just a little disappointed. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Look, he got his one Bucky kill. We need at least one Bucky kill from him per map.
Yeah, that is the quota.
Yeah, that's the minimum quota. Now you can go to a stinger. You can, you know, try to actually win. It's still a pretty tough road, honestly. First, you got to flip the anti-eco. You're on defense, too, so you didn't even get, like, plant money kind of thing.
Well, this reaction
Samo's just here, dude. Holy moly. I mean, good trade there from Bucky Abuser. And actually, Croissant getting a good one in the middle, too. Hang on. Wait a minute. Fisher have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew.
I mean, this is a classic Fisher EU moment where they're a little bit more aggressive than they probably should be, and a lot of times that's going to work for them because they have the aim to bail themselves out, but in this case, it doesn't work out. You have Bucky Abuser in an individual level connecting. Oh, nice shot, though, from Dory.
Dory, I'm not even sure Dory was looking at the crosshair. That felt like a moment where Dory's bullets were guided by a divine force. I mean, 12 HP feels pretty difficult for Croissant.
It's a crazy forward defense.
It is a little bit close. I mean, these guns are dangerous, but yeah, you wide swing into 2. And Fisher will get up to 12. I mean, less of an economy than they were anticipating keeping after that round, though, so... If only a sliver, there is a sliver of hope.
I'm calling in to the Fisher EU camp. They've let me know that they do not care because it's 12-3, Paul.
Fair enough. And you know, I said less economy. That is an operator. So evidently not that less of an economy.
Yeah, you
turns out winning 3 rounds in a row pretty good.
Forgot about the piggy bank. They broke it in case of emergency.
Yeah, I don't even think they broke it, dude. They just opened the bottom and, like, shook it a little bit. Oh, my.
It's a nice trade. Ale, though, right back in business, and Dory up into the mix. Oh, it's not pretty, but they'll get there.
Up in his face, dude. Oh, and I mean, Croissant, what hope do you have? Dory is flying around. Okay. Psyche gonna bring us back to some semblance of normalcy. It is only APL for the defense, 1v3. And I mean, there's just not much hope. A dominant map, if ever there was one, from Fisher EU to start off this grand final.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they kind of came out on their own map pick, showed us why they are, you know, the ones that made it through this upper bracket. I think that's kind of like a definitional map for this best of 5. I'm not that worried yet here for uOttawa, but I think that Icebox, their pick, were very good.
Yeah, uOttawa, it felt like they had a very specific game plan, and when that went wrong so early, like we said, just didn't have much else in the way on their attack. It can be a tough a tough map to attack against a team like Fisher, who's so willing to play with that tempo and interrupt you and throw you off your rhythm. Fisher doing a phenomenal job there. An absolutely dominant map. I mean, Samo and Black Moose just running rampant too, but that does give me, I mean, does give me concerns going forward. If Samo and Black Moose are on that much of a heater, that will transfer to other maps too, Vincent.
Yeah, that's a good point. It doesn't end right there with those individuals at the very least. On the upside, we saw some big moments from Bucky Abuser, right? Like, I think that there's a little bit of something to talk about there. APL, actually, I was pretty impressed with some of those moments from them. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough of those for them to get more than just a couple of rounds here or there, and that was mostly on those big hero moments, more than anything else. So I'm not out on uOttawa yet, even though that map, that score line, you look at the box score and you're like, not great. That's okay. A best of 5 is going to lend itself to some of those maps being more one-sided. It'll happen. Especially that being Fisher's very first map pick, the map they were the most confident on. So uOttawa, you're going to have a couple minutes, wipe the sweat off your brow, shake it off, and get ready for Lotus, because that'll be map number 2 when we come back from a break.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Has a dog been digging in there?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh! Yeah. There's something in there.
Come on, Lynn.
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Welcome back, folks. If you're just joining us, don't worry, you didn't miss much. Icebox was pretty quick, so we're hoping for a little bit more of a competitive map too, as uOttawa Garnet, they got some work to do if they want to try and pull this series back, because that was a very convincing first map from Fisher EU, Vincent.
Yeah, it really was. And listen, I think Fisher showing us some of the details that we knew to be the case. They've got a very strong combination of duelists on that map, right? Between Psyche and Samo, that's very clear. And whenever required, there was all of the other little details. We saw Black Moose Sova doing a whole lot of good work. And as you highlighted, I think it was right at the beginning of the show there, Black Moose doing that for a very long time. Currently playing for Rex Gator, but that's no big deal when you're talking about Black Moose, a guy that's been here for doing it for so very long. So what we're looking into, though, is a Lotus. That's uOttawa's pick. This is where I anticipate us to see uOttawa turn the tide a little bit.
I mean, you would hope that this would be their strongest map, too. And by the way, that Sova that Black Moose is so good on, significantly less likely here at the very least.
True.
Not impossible, I guess, but most teams don't bother with the Sova. It's pretty tricky to make work compared to other initiators. So, I mean, that's two bits of silver lining on what was a dark storm cloud of map number 1, admittedly. But uOttawa certainly with a chance here. They've pulled off at least very crazy upsets. I don't know about crazier upsets before necessarily. This would probably be the strongest upset they've had. But you know, like you were saying, it's a long best of 5. There are going to be some maps that swing very heavily one way or the other the majority of the time.
Yeah, I think the thing here for Lotus, this is definitely when I was looking into uOttawa's season, this is their like first / second most played map. Haven is the other one, which we're gonna see right after this, regardless of the outcome here. So I think that, you know, this Lotus definitely is one of their biggest strengths, as you would anticipate. My worry here is that they've had some big wins. But they've also, with that, had some pretty tough losses on this map. Very close losses. I want to add. I think there was like a 16-14 loss in there. You know, and to good teams. So I'm not saying that we're going crazy, but what I am saying is that uOttawa, this isn't like a perfect their best situation. What it is though is Fisher's, like, I would say, worst map in the pool. That, like, they lose to a lot of teams. They lost to uOttawa in 3 times over the course of this season, and I think that includes. I think my stats that I pulled are from fall semester as well. But it's the same 5. So
look at these compositions, though. On one side, we got the Clove coming out to back up a Raze. On the other side, we got the Deadlock and a Waylay Raze duelist, a 2 duelist comp here from Fisher.
I actually saw
spicy comps.
I actually saw this Waylay at the Tournament of Champions at Playfly over the weekend. It was pretty decent.
Did you see Waylay Raze on Lotus?
I saw Waylay, not Raze.
Okay, yeah. The double duelist is what intrigues me here. Ottawa Garnet, though, they have rolled over one of those duelists and the Deadlock to boot. Nice little C plant. And this is something that it feels like they wanted on. It's like you said, they seem like a very very specific, a prep-heavy team. And when that prep goes the right way, it can assist. Ooh, nice paranoia. That's pretty huge. Hot Bucky Abuser, though, good for the cover regardless. And now Ottawa maintain a pretty strong position. Low health bars, though. They gotta be careful. They are ever so fragile. Great smoke, especially in a pistol round. It's gonna be tricky to swing this. APL going for it. Percent, good to at least get rid of one. And the spam, just a hair off. The guided missile's coming back in, though, and God Bucky Abuser will save the day. Even if Black Moose hadn't died to those, the time would have been too low, I think. So Ottawa Garnet off to a pistol start. Nicely done.
I'm going to say that would have been really close, to be honest.
It would have been very close.
Did get the half. That's why it was, like, a little wild, because the other guided missile might have caught
even if you live and go straight back to Spike, APL is there at least.
Yeah. No, you're probably right, but I had some hopes, right?
An outside chance. But,
yeah, precisely. But you were kind of talking about how big of a pistol round that is. Also, the attack start, uOttawa were given this opportunity, I believe. So, you know, that's got to be a little bit of a relief.
That's how they wanted to start this map. That's how most teams want to start this map at the very least. Not Fisher, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's maybe more of the real conversation, is that Fisher don't want to start attack for whatever reason.
No. Either way, Ottawa Garnet now with the anti-eco. And they're pushing into a favorable part of the map. Really just a Waylay home here, trying to defend the A site. And I don't think Ayla's going to have much to say about this either.
Doesn't have much to actually play defense with.
I'm really intrigued by this Waylay pick. I'm wondering what the reason could be for it. Because I feel like on the B site, Waylay's actually... I worry the Waylay's going to struggle to get entry. On C, I guess you can get a really quick entry like up top. It's kind of like the Raze, right? But do you need both that and the Raze? It feels like putting too many eggs in one basket, but...
Paul, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Uh-huh.
I think you're just joking.
You think they won that first map so hard? Fisher like, let's play a Waylay. Why not?
Listen. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I would say that's where the most money's at. You know.
Well, I can't say that I disagree. Either way, Fisher onto their gun round now. A very potent bonus here from uOttawa, though. They kept most of their weaponry off that anti-eco, including a Phantom and a Guardian. So, once again, leaning towards A2. And another issue with this composition, it cannot fight for Rebel control, right? There's no fade, there's no breach. There is no world in which on the defense, Fisher EO are able to stop uOttawa from getting this Rebel control.
Really good point, actually. It feels like they have to, like it's mound or bust every round, right?
Yeah.
That's the way this has to go.
Unless uOttawa completely go autopilot and you get a really good nade and guided missiles or guided salvo at the same time, if uOttawa are doing their due diligence, there's no world where they shouldn't win Rebel every round.
Yeah, I mean they have taken mound, right? I said mound or bust, right? That is what's happened here. But the way late, my gosh, did APL turn around at the worst possible moment? Had to be what happened.
Tough timing there for APL either way. Well, now uOttawa, I mean, they are completely encircled. They got Rebel control so fast and didn't go anywhere. Ale is just here, chilling. I mean, he can just lob util in, let his team play more forward, too. I mean, here comes the swarm. Fisher EU. Oh, no, they're going to turn uOttawa into the fish. In a barrel, rather. God, Bucky alone, and I mean, a slaughter.
They were stuck. I mean, that's the reality. Ale was kind of the linchpin, if you will.
Yeah.
But APL specifically just needed to win that fight. Was in a very prime position to do that. I didn't see exactly what that timing entailed, but regardless, APL doesn't win it, and uOttawa, as you mentioned, they were indeed the fish in the barrel that time.
A loose thread on that round unraveled the entire Rebel control, and now they're going to try and switch things up. They're going to try and go back to mound, where I think it's a little bit easier for Fisher to fight, or at least maintain critical control. Even if Ale doesn't want to fight this and decides to get out after the first, I mean, he trades one, that's not bad.
You gotta hit
now
the
you
button.
have the deadlock for some stall.
Button required to do the get out of jail move.
The refract not quite going off there. Look, the time's been bought. Here comes a flank, too. I mean, at least it's spotted. Dude, you cannot lose your spike to the flank. Kiwis are awesome. Cannot be dying to Samo right now. They have an idea that Samo could be here.
Cheer go off.
Wall on the flank, but Samo still wins one. Ridiculous.
I mean, run that back by me. It's the same situation, but the next round, Croissant with a great position. Psyche's going to move forward and has this for the Tejo. Black Moose will fall. It's all trades, and Samo arrives. That readjustment, he's so fast. Moving back from that flank in to provide support for the mound fight. That is the difference between Fisher and so many other teams in this division.
I was going to say specifically Ottawa. I mean, they've even gotten good control of critical areas in the last 2 rounds. Both the rounds they've lost. They got Rebel. They got Mound. They traded one for Mound, but they still got it. And then they kind of have just been sitting there going, oh, well, what do we do now? How do we go on to the side? It doesn't feel committal. It doesn't feel like they know step 3. It's like step 1, go Mound. Step 2, get Mound. Step 3, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 4, plan.
Yeah.
But we gotta have that execute.
Yale sort of in a troublesome spot as Dory goes down. Not gonna be a problem.
Surely, yeah, finally. Getting 2 is gonna be enough for uOttawa to get their foot not just in the door, but through it. APL playing pretty far forward, and actually Spongel sure didn't get any sort of assist or trade there. So suddenly we are in a 3v3. No chance to get off the site either, having to use the Rolling Thunder. Good work from Croissant. Showstopper. Has some time, but I mean, you just had to let it loose. 22 HP. It's too nerve-wracking to hold on to it.
They're thinking about tossing the Armageddon into this too. Oh, this is bad news.
With Croissant down, I mean, maybe you have to. I would toss it back site and go, but it's too late. Bucky Buser's down. Only 1 HP, though. Forsaken, that TP had to have been heard. Kiwi's just trying to get off of it, trying to play time. The time is ever so low. The stun is good. Psyche holding for the kill, but it won't come through. Nice work from Kiwis are awesome to stabilize.
There's really good news and really bad news here. The good news is that uOttawa Garnet, they won the round. The bad news is they used, like, everything in order to do it.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe fortunate that didn't have the chance to pull the trigger on the Armageddon, but Showstopper, Rolling Thunder, not dead yet. Everything they had was involved in that round. but important when you talk about the context. Fisher were 1 round away from really buying a whole lot of momentum into this.
Yeah.
And now they're money broken. Tough spot. Only ultimate they have is
Just
for
enough
Waylay.
given over to Fisher to where they weren't able to reestablish their economy fully. So they will have to go for this eco. Black Moose taking a page out of Bad Bucky Abusers book, I suppose. If he wrote a book.
Only be
What would that
funnier.
book, what would that book say?
I mean, it'd have to be like a short picture book. How to abuse Bucky.
It's just a diagram.
Yeah.
By Bucky, sit in corner, win.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's just a meme. Like, it's a meme format, not a
Oh,
not a book.
yeah. Oh, okay. 5
Wait.
HP on Croissant, but will at least cross onto the B side here.
I've just
This is a
unlocked new
pretty
tech.
quick flank here from Fisher EU. 3 of them I don't think will be expected either, but Sponge Elf Shirt and God Bucky Abuser doing a great job of holding it regardless.
Sorry, were you're talking about like the real game? I'm realizing that I've
All
unlocked
good.
new tech. Samo?
Oh?
Anyway, the new tech I've just realized is
Uh-huh.
someone's gonna start trying to sell meme templates.
Oh, God.
That's coming soon somewhere.
Don't give anyone ideas.
Listen, that's my idea unless you want to pay me a commission, at which point it could be your idea.
All right. Well, Fisher EU, I'm sure they got plenty of ideas buzzing around in the old bonnet because they do have 4 alts, 3 of which exceedingly powerful. But again, I mean, the question here is the early round control, right? Because even with this pivot, I mean, you do have a few more players over here. Nice shot from Ale, too. Shutting down Croissant is pretty big. I'm a little bit surprised that Psyche didn't stay further up. Wow. Ale punishing the spam? That's pretty brutal, actually. uOttawa did not
Also
get anything
safe.
they wanted out of the first 40 seconds of this round.
I thought that was such a safe position to do that from.
That's the thing about Fisher. They're not afraid to test you. Hey, you're spamming, but like, is there somebody there to trade you? Hey, you're spamming, but like, there's no smoke covering you. Nice flash, but no, it's not enough. Well turned, well fought, flawless.
Remember those 4 ultimates, 3 of which exceedingly powerful? That's the way you put it.
Yeah.
We still got them. Plus
And
another one, probably.
there's about to be another one, yeah. Black Moose is 1 orb off.
That's
Absolutely
devastating.
insane.
That's a next step forward. This is where momentum could certainly swing in one clear direction. That's for Fisher.
I mean, look at Ottawa's economy. They are
Already
scraping the
rough.
bottom of the barrel just to put this round together, much less another.
Doing a thing.
They are pinging toward Mound once again, trying to go for this C split. You gotta get rid of Ale, though. Nice. Okay, couldn't get the refract off. Wasn't quick enough to it. So now there's at least a chance for this split. You're gonna be able to bisect the map here. Love this drone, too. Just keeping the rays further and further away, giving you more time to go for C. I'm a little bit surprised that gonna go the long way, have the Tejo hold the flank. Meanwhile, Psyche's gotten rid of Croissant. Hold on, Ottawa, we can't slow down this much when we get map control. Look, the rotates have all come in now.
Yeah, and Black Moose's guided Savo, that's going to make it even worse. Oh, that's okay.
Steel Garden
Steel
having to
Garden.
be invested just to get onto the site.
I mean, you'll take that, though.
It's not the end of the world.
This will allow the spike to go down. It'll allow a ton of space to be gathered back, too, here for uOttawa. They've got the Armageddon in defense. They keep losing individuals. Just on re-entry, Showstopper goes forward. It's going to take half of the life there for Kiwis. Lost for Black Moose to finish the job. APL now working. Great shot from APL. That's incredible. Caught in the grab net. Unfortunate. And it's now all up to Bucky Abuser.
No guided salvos. The Armageddon's going to try and keep them off the spike, but it gets half before it's even an issue. And Psyche is just dominating. He lives in their minds, and he knows where they're standing. It's already a tied game, and Ottawa are going to be broke.
Yeah.
And by the way, hey, remember how they had 5 really good ults? They only used the showstopper there.
You beat me to it, man.
Fisher so diligent, so thrifty with their ultimate economy.
That's a great way to put it, actually. They're just in in search of a good deal, and they found one a couple of rounds in a row.
Oh.
Yeah. And listen, I will stand by that there's never a good time to be broke, but right here towards the end of the half is a particularly bad time.
Oh, no. Hey, I mean, we were talking about how Fisher would never win a fight for Rebel control, but they don't need to win a fight if uOttawa just keep going mound. And actually, Fisher have stacked the A side of the map. C is free for the taking, so, I mean, at least probably a plan. Guys, Croissant has the whole site. You've got to get the spike over here.
They're working on it. Okay, they're not working on it. The spike's not been dropped.
No, the Armageddon too. That's just adding insult to injury. It's inside the door as well.
Oh man, and I saw this weekend somebody like steal a gun from the other side of the door because it was poking out. They're not going to be able to do that this time.
No, not even close. It's going to be the guided salvo. It's going to have to be a util dump and then trying to sneak it away. They're going to put a smoke up, guided salvo, and then open the door, hoping that the spam won't destroy them.
This barrier is actually bad news. Convergent pass goes out, and, well, it's a... Yeah, pretty tough way to close that one.
Considering it's a thrifty, getting 2 really good ults out of Fisher is great. But considering they had the C site free and clear, and then just for some reason the spike carrier is going for picks on B, that's tough. I can't slice it any other way than that, Vincent. This Croissant only gets cut in half.
Yeah.
It wasn't Croissant who got cut in half that round.
No.
I just had to go for the pun.
Yeah, Croissant had the side, actually.
Yeah. He was doing his job.
You're not wrong about that. I do think I am going to go the glass half full angle on that one, though. 2 big ults is good, you know?
2 big ults is good.
Out of their hand. Yeah, you would want a spike plant. Would have been ideal. Hey, where have I seen this before?
Oh.
Psyche gonna get the shrouded
He
step out,
sneaks
too.
away. Like a thief in the night. You wouldn't even know he was there if not for the corpse of your buddy. And the stealth drone so far up, uOttawa have nothing on this map. They can try and fight Psyche, but he's been on a heater on Lotus thus far. They're desperately going to try and fly into this site. Don't even go for the flash. Okay, because the smoke was out, but that's risky. Psyche just holding inside the clove smoke, too.
Chilling, man.
Meanwhile, APL's falling on the flank, and Godbucky Abuser, you are not long for this world. I mean, you trade yourself out. That's the best you could have hoped for, honestly. But while Croissant is desperately trying, I think even a plant here is somewhat far-fetched. Here come the reinforcements. Fisher, EU storming their way onto the site. I mean, they're not being quiet about it. Croissant has the info, knows there's one over here, but Ale is quicker to the headshot.
Did they toss in? Did I hear that correctly? Did they toss the Annihilation? Yeah, they did. They did, just in case they weren't taking any chance. I think that's fair. Annihilation's really hard to get like value out of, I think.
And it's another round where uOttawa, I mean, that was gonna be the only comfortable economic round they have for the rest of the half, right? Now they're gonna piecemeal a couple of guns on the board, but it's forces from here on out if they want rifles. No, they're gonna go for a half buy.
I actually like this call.
I think it's smart.
Yeah, it's just I think it's so very reasonable, especially when you're getting beat back like this by Fisher, to put your eggs into the buy basket, because whilst you can find a win with worser weapons, I think you're so much more likely to find a victory when you have those rifles, and that's what uOttawa Garnet thinking right now.
But again, this pace from Ottawa has been molasses in January. This Z site was free, but they took so long and showed nothing else on the map that the full rotates are here. Showstopper catapulting in, APL good for a trade. Psyche trades too, though. And with rifles, I mean, maybe you can get those guns. Yeah, this could be doable. Croissant needs a real weapon in his hand, though. Sooner rather than later. The stun, the flash, both whiff. And how claustrophobic they are in backside. At least it's a 3v2. uOttawa Garnet, they have a chance. Rolling Thunder available too if they get some good contact. Nice swing. Not a nice swing. Ale tears them to shreds. The spacing just too close.
I'm not even gonna fault uOttawa on that one, to be honest, Paul. It's so easy to say bad spacing, but like Genuinely, what an insane flick that was.
Yeah, still an insane. It wasn't. They weren't even all in a perfect line.
No.
It was just a little too close.
Yeah, like, they were close. It could have been better. Don't get me wrong, but like, dude.
But no, just insane.
All
from Ale.
3 of them were offset. Those were 3 different like angles in which they were attacking, man.
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
And yet Ale gets them all in one big gulp.
Yes, he does.
Absolutely
Oh, boy.
absurd. One more round. Another silver lining here for Ottawa Garnet. That was a half buy, and it was still fairly close. So in this final round, they're going back to A. They're going to fight tooth and nail. This is the first Rumble fight we've actually seen. Nice shot from Croissant, but he is traded back.
Yeah. This Pain Shell's doing some work overtime. Samo's still here as Black Moose trades. Oh, okay, I was going to say it hasn't not dead yet, so they're going to do that. Wait, Samo going to be unknown. Samo get us 1. That's 3 on the round. The triple kill confirmed, and now the showstopper available for this 1v1.
Cheeky to be tucked in there, and the flash already having to be used. Samo knows APL is coming, and it's just so lightning fast with it. An 8-4 half Fisher. Not quite as dominant as they were in the first half of Icebox, but they will still take that.
No, but I think it's time to check in, right? Because you've really been talking about it the whole match, not just this map, but I think we've very clearly seen uOttawa are stuck in a rut with regard to their attack. They have a game plan, and then they stick to it. And when anything happens to that game plan, they freeze a little bit. And even when there's nothing happens to it, they're just a little slow on the uptake.
The first 20 seconds of the round, great. If they can get a plant, great. In between those two is where I sweat for uOttawa on their attacks.
Even then, I mean, you know, anytime there's not a specific plan, right? Like, defaulting just not a real thing for this uOttawa team in general.
Either way, they're going to have to show up on the defense of Lotus now. And Fisher are once again just storming, wasting no time. Ale very quickly in. APL doing a good job of holding tree. At least trades pretty effectively, but this is good space garnered by Ale. Even with the unfavorable trades, will be able to secure a spike plant here. It's just a question of, can this frenzy do some damage? Here comes Bucky Abuser. Nice clear. And with that tip of the spear falling, I feel like Fisher don't have much else in terms of damage they can deal. Samo good for 1, but that'll be all they wrote.
I mean, you said good enough, right? And I think that's exactly what it was for APL. Right, just 1 kill would have been good, but a second, that's fantastic. And despite the fact that they really didn't know about the forward position there, Buzu does a great job of just coverage, checking all the corners, checking all the boxes for that retake. uOttawa, way successful. And a very important round, too, when you're talking about the context of this one. They lose that pistol round. It's very easy, double digits, and things fall away fast.
Ale with a Bucky here. Is there... I'm not the most up on my Waylay tech. Is there a Bucky Waylay dash tech I'm unaware of?
I can't say that I'm up on the tech either, so I don't know that I will be able to answer.
Seems old. Not spotted. Ooh, here comes that Bucky.
Was.
Tried for it. I wouldn't call it tech, but at least an attempt was made. Psyche getting caught too. No armor. Sheriff more than good for that. I mean, Croissant just a one-man army, and here come the reinforcements to that army. Meanwhile, Spike has actually been playing it completely on the other side of the map. Samo does go up the rope, though. Ooh, and is just going to get spotted. Easy peasy for APL. And uOttawa, not terribly far behind Fisher, but here's where the rubber's going to start meeting the road.
When Fisher get the rifles out, I mean, I think they pretty happy with the spike plant. Would have loved a kill or 2 in there. uOttawa going to have the most bonusy of bonuses here, as much as they want, really.
And a lot of the weapons for uOttawa aren't revealed either. Like the fact that there's a judge hanging around, that's something Fisher I don't think are aware of.
Good point.
Not that it'll stop Ale.
Yeah.
Also pulling out a judge.
It's the Bucky, but better.
Still waiting on God Bucky Abuser's 1 Bucky kill, but we'll keep an eye on that for this map.
They got time.
I don't there is some time, admittedly.
The defense is where I'd anticipate we see that. We'll wait for maybe a rougher economy round.
APL left totally floating on this side of the map, too. I mean, this is just going to have to be an A retake. The Vice utility will be nice for a stall, but especially with this deadlock wall coming in, there's no way you're going to be able to stop this fully. It does get caught by his own buddy's paranoia, but still is good for the one, as that Ares doesn't really do Kiwis any favors.
And just not a great time for that Bucky on the other side.
Yeah, the judge not doing too much work there. Weesh. This has been a tough round for uOttawa. Hey, at least, oh, at least a couple coming through. Wait a minute, this is suddenly winnable. It's on with the sheriff, too. The outlaw doesn't have to reload it. That's a tough high-low stack to break. Oh, he needed to hit that. If Croissant hits that shot, Samo's low enough. I think there's a world where he could win it, but good work from Fisher to admittedly kind of limp through their first gun round. They lost a lot there.
They did, but I'm not that worried about it, mostly because of the fact that uOttawa, even though they're going to have like a very good buy now, I think they got shown the door pretty easily with regard to like the site take proper. I want to see, and to be fair, uOttawa weren't really in a position to handle that themselves.
This is a good adjustment too from uOttawa. This is the first time that they're actually going to fight Rubble on their defense, and this is the quintessential trio that you think of fighting Rubble. Raze, Breach, Tejo. There goes Samo. Didn't stand a chance. And the rest of Fisher locked out for the moment too. They're going to try and swing back in, but Croissant is ready for it. I mean, at least one traded back, but Ale's not good for much else. The classic pulled out. Croissant on 4. I mean, come on. Can we get our first ace of the grand finals here?
I think yeah, they're setting him up for it. Give him
Wide
the
swing
try.
off the satchel. Ooh, but threw himself off. All good. Bucky Abuser will clean that up. And uOttawa staying within a decent distance.
Yeah, trading rounds too. And this is, to be fair, you did mention this in the beginning of this map, that this is kind of a tough composition to fight for Rubble, like at all. It's not great for Fisher. That is.
Fisher's, yeah, it's tough. I don't see a world where they're going to be able to confidently take that.
I think realistically,
but it also requires uOttawa to be applying enough pressure there to keep Fisher away, which on their attack, they weren't doing as much as I personally would have liked, but we'll see how they do on their defense. 4 players B to start the round here, expecting just like a rush onto B, I guess, because it's an eco round for Fisher, but C is going to be the name of the game instead, at least once that Vice Wall drops and lets the rest of Fisher in.
Yeah, the sheer catches him for a moment. Showstopper goes in. It's a 1-for-1. Samo sacrifices his life for it. We'll see if Croissant does the same thing. Doesn't get a chance.
No.
Oh, that's devastating. Ale shuts him down beforehand. Inside. Oh, stunned is Sponge.
Okay, God Bucky at least not falling to his own tricks there. But there's a flank through Waterfall as well. There's no way they expect Dory. There goes Kiwis are awesome. Now it's all on Bucky Abuser's shoulders. Gonna go for the half stick. But here he comes. Oh, and the Annihilation too. It's gonna rip him off the defuse.
It was so close.
Just a timer stuck in the cocoon, brought to the spider's maw.
Unironically, actually milliseconds away, I'm pretty sure. That was unreasonably close.
Very close on the Annihilation, but nicely done by Dory. I think a fraction of a second later, and that would have been a little bit embarrassing. But instead, Fisher flipped that and win an eco round. I wouldn't say embarrassing would be the name of the game for that round, but it's certainly not what uOttawa were hoping for. Considering it's still early days, they haven't built their economy yet. It's only 3 rifles for them, and they're buying into this.
Yeah, and it's back and forth, right? So with Fisher winning one, losing, then winning the next, that's what makes it difficult for uOttawa to win that. Samo, we talked about not being able to fight for Rubble. How about just sidestep Rubble entirely, get out there, get into the mix?
I mean, Croissant's still dealing some damage. But it will be on Bucky Abuser's shoulders again. Sponge Elf doing what he can. Armageddon clearing out tree. Nobody was home. Actually, got Bucky can step up here. Nice work from Black Moose, though. I mean, that's where Bucky Abuser would have been if he'd been flushed out of tree, too. Dory locks it down, and Fisher EU are starting to run away with it.
It's just that one round. It's that one round, and it's ironically enough the Bucky.
Unbelievable.
For Ale.
There was so much going on in that round. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. Ale picked the showstopper out of the air with the Bucky.
Yeah, that was nasty. And then the stun into the ruse, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
yeah.
That is devastating. Sponge, I think, beat by their own game inside the ruse.
That's a morale breaker, if nothing else. I hope uOttawa Garnet are able to rally after that, but they're not going to have much time to do so. 2 rounds until Fisher claim yet another map and put themselves on match point in the grand finals.
And right now, uOttawa sort of giving over map point here, unless they get something crazy done with this.
APL trying to play as cheeky as he can. Survives for quite a while and recovers a rifle too. That's not half bad, considering the circumstances he was in. Even good for another. No way he gets more than this, though. Steel Garden to try and hold this down, but it doesn't trigger fast enough. Dory gets in time. That does buy time for God Bucky Abuser to get here. Samo with the cover, though. I mean, yeah, you're never going to be able to swing and stop the planter. 2v3. And Samo watching for the reswing, too. Sponge Elf, I mean, you tried, but here comes Dory. Ooh, 3 bullets isn't going to be enough. Classic out. You're going to try and get behind him, but Dory still head on a swivel. Meanwhile, the cover from Psyche, I mean, it's just too much to ask for Sponge Elf to be able to pull this off. Unless they swing into him for some bizarre reason.
Yeah, why? 27 health, though.
Rifle recovered, though. All you need is a headshot. Dory knows. Just backpedal. Stay away. And now go for the swing. The spam will be enough. That box is fragile. It was a bit more dicey than I think Fisher were hoping for, but a win is a win, and match point is match point.
Listen, though, let's talk upside here for uOttawa, because there is a lot of that. They do have, some tools to work with. That Armageddon in particular going to be a big one, but even beyond that, the amount of damage they do economically, it keeps Fisher somewhat more honest. Sure, Dory's got a fat stack of cash. It's not worst case scenario, but they're in the realm of being broken. So 5 rounds on a comeback, it's a long way. Don't get me wrong, but it's very attainable, Paul.
Fisher going to be starting this round off, heading toward Mound. And it looks like a round where they're just going to bulldoze. Here comes Ale just all the way in. Showstopper 2. There goes APL. Caught. Just the toes clipped by that one. And Samo's not stopping there. SpongeBob, will you even get away here? No! Oh, my word. At least Croissant's death is not in vain. Here's Ale, though. Kiwi's barely getting that. But a 2v3, 1v3, 0. Counting down to one more map win. Fisher, they are already on grand finals point.
Yeah, 13-7, that one a whole lot closer, but it really is that one half by round with the Bucky. Yeah. That is what turns I hate to be so reductive, but that is where the game changes, and it's not just superficial. It's at the core of the problem, right? There's no way to fight back from that broken economy, and it starts to go downhill from that point on from uOttawa. If that goes different, I genuinely think we're talking about a very close map that is potentially uOttawa.
And I think both that round, because their defense, I think Ottawa were starting to really look good and come into a solid stride. APL was waking up, right? I mean, the dude was getting round after round of double, triple kills, absolutely bamboozling Fisher. And even I think God Bucky Abuser was starting to really wake up too. But that attack half was still pretty rough as well, right? You win pistol and you only get a total of 4 rounds on attack of Lotus? That's got to be something that I think, looking to the future, uOttawa will probably hope to shore up. But that's got to just be pushed to the wayside for now. You can't be thinking about that, at least for the moment, because already Fisher have 2 out of the 3 maps they need, Vincent. We got one more break, but then it is off to Haven to see if Fisher can wrap it up quick or if uOttawa will fight back. We'll see you in a sec.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh!
yeah. There's something in there. Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Fisher are hoping to make quick work of today. They've already won 2 maps, and now it's on to uOttawa Garnet to see if they can pull off one of those fabled legendary reverse sweeps in a best of 5. One more time is well, maybe one more time, maybe a few more. We'll see what Ottawa has to say about it. But either way, it's myself possible alongside Vincent. And we get to go on to Haven now, Vincent. I feel like with how much of a must-win map Lotus was, we immediately go to Haven. Look, we've been trying to be the silver lining guys tonight.
We have.
Storm's getting pretty dark.
Yeah, it is. And listen, I think that there's I'm gonna try it again, okay? I'm gonna do my best.
I believe in you.
Listen, on the season, uOttawa 4-2 on this map. Like, this is a map that they're good at. I don't think that there's a better map in the pool for this to be like map 3 at all. I think they're happy with this. Of course, not happy to lose Lotus. That was a must win. That doesn't change. The bad news is that Fisher, this is what I would consider, like, stats-wise, their best map. They have the most plays, the most wins. Like, numerically, this is just a really good map for them. And, like, on top of that, though, they've certainly lost a couple of games. They've lost games that uOttawa also lost to. Like they lost to CSU here. I'm pretty sure that uOttawa also lost this map to that team. So I'm not really that worried about it. And then on top of that, Fisher beat them, CSU that is, in the rematch. Not that that particularly matters in this case specifically, but my takeaway from all of my random ramblings here is that Haven is a Fisher map by far. Yeah. It's just a matter if uOttawa genuinely can, like, stay mentally in this, because there were some mental breakpoints in that Lotus.
Toward the end there, again, we've talked about it enough. I'm not going to beat it to death, but that, beat a dead horse. Get it? Because Ottawa Garnet there, simple as a horse. Anyways, but that Bucky 2K was really tough, beating the showstopper, and a round that it felt like Ottawa was poised to win. But either way, they did, shake off map 1, which was a much more one-sided map, very efficiently, right? So if Ottawa are warming up throughout the series, which I think is what we saw on Lotus, especially individually, players like God Bucky Abuser, APL, right? Even Croissant had a phenomenal... Of the players on the attacking half, Croissant was definitely the most impressive to me. Maybe got a little bit quieter on the defense, but that was just because of the nature of the role and how things changed for uOttawa going onto the defense. So I think there are glimmers of hope here for Ottawa, but like you said, it's not like it's a bad map for Fisher. Let's see what we've got for Haven. Pretty normal considering what we just saw. Never mind.
No, this is Fisher.
I was willing to let the Waylay slide because we just saw it on Lotus, but alongside the Harbor KO?
It's also just like, isn't the map, they don't KO on this map ever either.
There's no Sentinel.
There's not.
Guys, there's 3 sites on this map. There's 3 sites.
That's why we're double controllering. You don't understand. You just wouldn't get it, Paul.
Oh my! This honestly, to me, kind of screams that Fisher are going to be fighting a lot. I feel like with the KO and the Waylay, I kind of feel like they're going to be in their face quite a bit. They're going to be starting on the attack at the very least. So fighting will be the name of the game. And, I do see a world where this executes very well. I'm curious about its defense, but starting off on the attack, maybe this attack will be dominant enough to where they can just put that to bed and not need to worry about too many rounds on the defense.
Yeah,
already storming towards C.
I don't think that they're thinking that far ahead, to be honest with you. I think it's just about get up in the face and run it in. See how it goes. So blind. He feels so blind. Literally perma white screen. Finally, vision returns, and it's not going to be good enough. They take them all down. A flood of attackers.
Spike planted.
Finding their way into the back of the C site. Now, God Bucky Abuser. Attempted 1v3 ends with ease.
Yeah, I mean, that's about what we've come to expect from Fisher at this point. We haven't gotten to see them attack very much, but when we have, it has been rather clean, and you can see the way that they dismantled the C site there. Even though the rotates were very quick, like, props to uOttawa. I thought they got there in plenty of time to mount some sort of defense, but the timing on that flash, the swing from Ale with it, and then the re-swing from literally the rest of Fisher backside, really nicely done.
I think they're multiplying. We got not just one Bucky, but two Bucky. If one's not good enough, you know, adding a second does make sense to me. I'm following the logic here. Unfortunately, back towards C, it's going to be difficult to get into that position. High Tide comes in, and the Cascade follows. I maybe spoke too soon.
Fisher are wasting no time. They are immediately bouncing to the other side of the map. I mean, God Bucky Abuser has thought of this, is going to A to try and get set up quickly. Oh, an APL. Heard a footstep. Wait. Okay, doesn't give false info to the rest of the team. Hey, it's just one footstep. It's one person they left here. The rest of the team probably still gone. But God Bucky Abuser, that's the spike gone. And he didn't even show his Bucky in his hand. Now he will. But it'll get traded back. It's all on one. Just Psyche with the Guardian long. Good for one, but he's got to reload. And surely surely they get him. There we go. Yeah. Nice flip back. Not bad, Ottawa.
Not at all. And from the investments, too. I mean, I didn't have a lot of faith. I know I was memeing at the Bucky, not because I think the Bucky's bad, just more like the Bucky's kind of tough to make work if you're not on the wrong side, which they were, like, both times at the very beginning of those hits. So, worked out very well, all things considered.
Not too shabby, Ottawa Garnet. And I will say, they've been very fluid on the map, very quick to react, too.
Which is so funny, because it's literally the opposite of that on their attack sides.
They certainly feel more nervous when they go to attack, but for now, doing a fine job. Again, that Vice just trying to hold on to C. They're just giving it up entirely. Gonna play for the retake here, not afraid to leverage these better guns. I mean, the Guardian should be pretty nice here. Ooh, does have to be careful. SpongeBob shirt falling as well. It's not ideal. That's way out in mid, too. Wait, this is a fake on the C side. Look, KO Spike bolting to A. We're God Bucky Abusers lying in wait. Oh, he's kind of read this, too.
I mean, not so much. Reddit, like, Psyche's putting out dark covers. Like, it's sort of obvious what's happening.
Ooh.
It feels great work, though.
This map gets much stranger now for you, Ottawa Garnet.
Oh, this is massive. Now, such a much stronger post plant with Psyche up in heaven. Croissant has a tough decision to make. Try to fight up into heaven. Oh, but doesn't even check it. Doesn't even look. Psyche gets away.
Ottawa Garnet, it looks like they weren't even considering that Psyche might have pivoted up there. Oh, but Psyche didn't think anyone would be long. He thought they'd all be working together. The dart clearing hell spotted over toward Art. And now the swing together. Nicely done, Ottawa. A good recovery from what was turning into a dire situation.
Yeah, it really was. I think that fake was sort of obvious. All things like, you know, obviously that it could be happening with all the dark covers and like the back and forth of the utility that was happening there. God Bucky Abuser knew that there was something going on. You know, not sure about the fake until it starts happening. But regardless, Fisher nearly execute that to perfection once they get into the post plant. That reposition from Psyche was brilliant, to be honest with you. It's just tough that they don't expect or anticipate there to be somebody up long. Croissant's onto an operator. This is pretty new. Like, we haven't seen almost... I'm trying to think back. I don't know that we actually have even seen one operator here from uOttawa.
Not from Ottawa. They haven't had the economy. They've never had the chance to build that much money. Ooh. And yeah, Psyche, you can tell, completely caught off guard by it, even with the 0 point. Spotting that the Jet was playing somewhere near sewer. And an on position here, too, from Fisher EU. They seem to be, other than pistol round, allergic to keeping their team together as 4 or 5. They do not want to go for that at all. APL does get spotted, but a nice timing on the swing, and Black Moose is too far back.
That stealth drone basically useless in that moment because of that swing timing.
Fisher are really trying to prod every area of the map at once, but this is a classic composition from Ottawa. Actually, it's a double Sentinel composition. You're not really going to find an opening to exploit.
Kind of feels like you've got to be like heavy exec or heavy default in order to like best this. You really got to poke and prod entirely across the map to start to farm out some of that utility from those Sentinels, or you have to just have strong enough execute that the Sentinel utility isn't as effective. And to be fair, Fisher's composition lends itself to strong executes, but we really haven't seen that.
I'd even like to see pump fakes, right? You know, break util, wait it out, play the map.
Right.
none of this util will come back. I mean, these trap wires, you know, won't come back if you break them. But Fisher, they're going to have to think about that for future gun rounds. For now, they're just contending with this A play. It is the strong side of the map. The op left to hold C on its lonesome. Wow, unbelievable swing from Ale, but woo, Sponge Elf coming to life on the Clove. That's something we didn't really see much of on Lotus, and a quick dominant round by Ottawa Garnet. When was the last time we said that?
Yeah, I'm like a little bit perturbed right now because Fisher, I know the answer, but I'm just refusing to accept it. Fisher are playing this weird composition, and they're not playing it like they know what to do with it. And I think the answer is
we certainly haven't seen proof of concept.
Well, like you and I have given like multiple thought processes of like how this could be utilized, but right now Fisher aren't even really doing that, which leads me to believe that they're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. And
ooh, that Armageddon's tough for Sponge Elf Shirt. Nice smoke though, has a little bit of breathing room to play inside of. Does get stunned. That first bullet important. Trades out, not bad. Things going worse for wear on the A site though. Psyche once again, this time with the From the Shadows, getting all the way up into heaven. Good swing by God Bucky Abuser. I thought he was done for on that, but gets the neural theft out of it and everything. The null command though will shut that down. So you're flying blind here. APL having to go for it. And there's the concuss coming out too. It's all on God Bucky Abuser and a nice timed swing. Two players fighting him up heaven. Fisher getting back on the board.
I mean, tossing in the paths there just to be very sure that that doesn't go wrong. I think that's fair enough. There's a lot to like there though from what uOttawa were doing. Also, hilarious moment. Black Moose swinging into that ruse. Just had the classic out on the run right clicks. Sponge Elf. Oh, that was too funny. Had me dying in my seat, but regardless, funny moments aside, Fisher.
Hello? Sponge Elf not buying into a rifle? Just a judge?
Or why?
But here comes the pressure on the A side. Was expecting another round A, but instead it's all going C. And I mean, Reckoning not actually getting much done. Croissant dodging and diving this very effectively. APL swinging out from Garage 2 behind them. An absolute nuts shot from Croissant. Ottawa are suddenly in the flow state. Black Moose, though, trying to answer back. This is a 1v3, and Croissant's got the cover, too.
I've been actually a really big fan of how they've used the Not Dead Yet, really baiting people into other teammates. I think that's been very smart for Sponge Elf. Croissant, can we talk about that flick, man?
I couldn't even register that shot was possible to me.
So fast. That between that and the way that they dived and dipped around all the utilities, the Reckoning, ineffective, everything. Not touching them. Croissant.
And it flew a little under the radar there, but shout out to Kiwis are awesome. So quick on the reaction with the Hunter's Fury. Giving a little bit more space. Discombobulating that attack from Fisher. You can see they're aware now. That Croissant wants to play here. Okay, yeah, here's the drone coming and pushes back. Gets spotted too, doesn't get cleared. Oh, and now you're so stuck. Trades out for one. No way you let him reload. The shorty, oh my word, Psyche almost died there too. But at least trades that back. That's just the operator though. You don't even want that to try and attack. I mean, 3v2. And Sponge Elf Shirt is right here. Ottawa are completely shutting Fisher down at every turn.
Yeah, they are. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I think Fisher have done a little bit of a troll pick, and they don't know what to do because they've never played this comp.
Something about reaping and sowing. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. I mean, and I say that not just because I'm guessing, but because I wrote it down. Last time they played Haven, they played Omen, ISO, Sova, Cypher, Euro.
Wow, a normal comp.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not just throwing accusations out there with no backup.
They're certainly trying to hey, Fisher are trying to make it work, though. You can see pings on the minimap. They are not going into this completely haphazardly. They are creating strategies. It's just all on the fly, and Sponge Elf Shirt underneath. I mean, there's just nothing to be done. Sponge Elf Shirt and APL picking them apart as they swing out these smokes, and even that wall of water ain't gonna stop the bullets.
And it's uOttawa once again, like multiple times you talked about it, but how fast they've arrived to this site whenever they're under pressure. uOttawa are here fast. Fisher don't even necessarily giving away early indicators. They're just straight up running towards this site. And their utility offset, the timing's just not right. Their initiation offset from their utility that's meant to set up said duelist. That's the biggest issue. Like, the Waylay is in so early compared to the rest of the utility.
I mean, you surely are done for here. No, Psyche actually dodging that. SpongeBob shirt in a little bit of trouble. There's a lot of players here. Sidesteps the hinder, but still gets caught in the head. Croissant going a bit far forward. Ooh, couldn't quite hit the corner of the KO. And I think uOttawa Garnet are maybe playing a little bit too loose, considering how much success they've had. They're getting a bit too comfortable.
Lightstorm could recover this, though, quite easily.
I mean, the timing here, no one's looking this way. No one's looking this way. Oh, no, that wasn't a single headshot. APL doing his best, but trading out 2 for 3 is not ideal. God, Bucky Abuser. Last one to try and get over here, at least. We'll have a pretty decent chance. I mean, the health bars are low, but Black Moose holding it beautifully. And a thrifty given to Fisher when I really don't think Ottawa they could have gotten away without getting that round.
Yeah, I think SpongeBob kind of biting off more than they can chew. Like, especially once they get spotted, once they've already made some contact and there's a timing to get away and they just stick it out.
Yeah.
That's the decision that I think is under the most scrutiny right now for uOttawa. They can afford that, but I think giving Fisher an avenue back in is what's a little less affordable.
Lifeline. I mean, a 7-5 half would not be terrible for Fisher. They have a lifeline now. They were even given an op. And this is very bold from Ottawa Garnet. They're going for it. I mean, Ale does get caught. But now, get away with your spoils. No. Croissant. Hand caught in the cookie jar there. Oh, and Sponge Elf shirt ripped out of the cookie jar. An attempt from the recon dart, but it's not enough to find a trade back. And, oh, even the tag through the wall. Knocking nearly 2/3 of Kiwi's health off.
He's simply so far away. You know how you
even with 2 sentinels, I mean, it's so hard to cover this big of a map with 3 people.
Yeah. Steel Garden's a possibility, but to be honest with you, that's only going to be relevant if you're on the right site or during the retake.
I mean, it is pretty much fully set up for retake A as well. God, Bucky Abuser hoping to get some. Wow, unbelievable swing off the timing there. Oh no, don't double dip, God, Bucky Abuser. They know you up there.
Yeah, and the flank's coming too. Kiwis are awesome, is up ahead of this, but Psyche is on the case to take down APL before he can even get back in there. Yeah, I
understand the logic. Yeah, but crack's starting to show. It felt like God, Bucky Abuser wanted to go for a bit too much of a hero play. Had already done the work to even things back up. But it's okay.
They were literally already the hero. Did not need to be Superman. Sometimes it's okay to be take your pick of not Superman.
Look, I'll take... I'm trying to think. No, I can just think of A-listers right now. I thought Batman, Wonder Woman. I'm like, no, those are all really good as well.
Yeah, wait, we can't. Hold on.
Yeah, no, those are yeah.
The Green Arrow.
Yeah, you can be the Green Arrow.
Oh, Ale.
Ooh, APL. Ooh, fully blind, barely tucks into that corner, but it won't provide much cover. One player still hanging on backside. I mean, Sponge Elf trying, but there's a swarm coming. Goes for the not dead yet. Where do you even peel to? I mean, that's a cheeky corner. I don't know if they expect Sponge Elf there, but spam will be more than enough to figure it out. I mean, just diving through, and Fisher, yeah, suddenly a second wind has really picked up the pace for them.
Yeah. They get a little bit of a reprieve, an easy win with the thrifty victory. But I do want to, you know, maybe I'm not the guy that's looking at the upside, because I got 2 points to make here, Paul. First and foremost, uOttawa Garnet's attack side has been icky bad all series long, and you know, it is at the heart of it an issue with their play style. They love these executes. They They're good at them, to be honest with you, but the spacing and the speed with which they get there once they start to take those first steps is difficult. And then on the other side of that, bro, what does this comp do defensively? How does it even prospectively work?
Certainly a bizarre second half of Haven we are headed toward. But uOttawa Garnet, I think the ball should be in their court. More sensible composition, and they are barreling towards C quickly. Paranoia will take the pep out of their step, though. I mean, no backside control, no chance for it. I'm not certain what APL was hoping to gain from that. Just charging headfirst through the high tide. And the rest of uOttawa Garnet don't even want to deal with this. They're hoping Godbucky Abuser has enough space to just wiggle themselves into a B plant. It's just so much of the map is bizarre to them. Oh, the wide swing doesn't quite work. Bucky Abuser trying to sidestep once he realized there's one there, but now it's all on Croissant with only 53 HP. Ale knows he's here too, and a body shot will be all he needs.
Bro, what happened to the plant? They had it. They had all of it. That was all that space. Could have even gone A. Obviously, they don't know that, but still could have gone A. And they don't even get the plant down. I got caught up in taking space, if I'm going to be very honest with you. And not to be harping back too much here, but same situation. Like, they get there, and then it's like, shrug shoulders, where do go?
And that time it was all the way onto the site, too. Well,
Yeah.
admittedly, in that scenario, I think it was more sensible to try and peel off than a lot of the times we've seen them sort of just flub.
Right.
Because Fisher had really good utility. I mean, the Paranoia stopped them in their tracks. The high tide prevented back site control. So if there was a time to pivot, it was then. But you can see the issue in decisiveness. And I mean, Fisher are just on a heater now, too, man. Oh, they're in the flow state. They're in the zone.
Dude. Ale is styling on him right there. Absolutely
I mean, it's against
incredible.
pistols, but still.
I don't care. I don't care when it's like that.
Oh, my word. So confident, pulls out the op. Round 3, light armor offset. Yeah, no, guys, you know, I just hit such nasty shots. Let me do it again. Okay, goes back to I think this is reasonable.
Yeah,
I think this is good.
Whoever's
Although
calling the
there's no
shots,
light armors on the other side.
whoever's calling the shots, just reeled them back in a little bit. Said, hey, let's chill.
Hey, that's a tag. That's some damage dealt, even if it was through a wall. The outlaw fight, at least temporarily, won.
It doesn't go
and
both ways.
I do love the Harbor util. Oh, but Doid getting a bit caught off guard with it. Nice flash. Samo getting away with that trade, too. What a way to pivot back. Croissant here low now as well. I mean, the Outlaw, even if it can't get those one-and-dones, hey, 2 will do.
There's a reason there's a pop available. Yikes, that is a
Just a
crazy shot.
One-hit KO for Psyche, though.
One enemy remaining.
Make it another. Make it a third! He swings, and every time he lands a hit, somebody falls.
So I guess some questions already answered. Ask kind of what does this composition really do defensively? The answer is fight, which makes some sense. And especially with the Teo, like there's a lot of ways to initiate some of those fights, right? You have the flash drives, obviously, but
And the nice thing about the Harbor is that, I mean, we saw it in the fight that happened over in A lobby, right? Between the Outlaws.
Cascade.
Whether the fight wins or loses, you cascade, and suddenly all that space is, I mean, at least soft re-cleared.
it's somewhat yours.
Exactly. I mean, Croissant doing what he can. Is going to be caught in the hinder here.
Virgin pass.
Hinder with the fragment. That's a bit nasty. And Ale, dude, this Outlaw is deadly. Finally, Kiwis will at least put that down, but I'm not giving him much hope to actually get on to C here. APL, I mean, with a cheeky angle, but that's a stinger, and it's long range, and there's not enough bullets. Wow, 1 HP is tough.
Bro, you say not enough bullets, but I just want to point out 5 headshots right there in a very short amount of times.
Stinger, good gun.
Yeah, triple headshot on the first guy, hit 2 on the second, and then ran out of bullets. So you were right, but like, not very far
This
off.
has to be the round for uOttawa Garnet. Not just for the map, for the series, folks. Keep in mind, best of 5. Fisher need 3 at the top right of your screen, and they are already sitting pretty on 2 map wins. Ale now in the pivotal gun round for uOttawa, going to that operator, upgrading to the full big boy sniper rifle.
Back in a flash.
A little bit of soft information being gained with the stealth drone out towards A, but it's C under pressure. Psyche, who's here.
Whoa.
Oh, nicely done. Plungel shirt right in the mix, and God Bucky Abuser walks right in. It's free, it seems, for them. Samo gonna deny the plant. That's only temporary.
Good swing, at least from uOttawa Garnet. They realize that those smokes are only as strong as the amount of people that are holding them, and if they can go fast enough, even with a high tide up, they can take back site control in C. Samo does manage to trade one out, but would have to complete the 1v4 in order to shut this round down for uOttawa. The 0 point will at least clear some of the close corners, but then the smoke goes up and it all gets uncleared.
It all kind of
uOttawa,
starts.
Yeah, a good way to get back in.
I feel like it all kind of starts with Psyche feeling maybe a little too confident trying to swing through that ruse. No real need to like commit to that type of fight, and it's so disadvantaged for them when there's 3 players on the front of the site. Doesn't know the numbers, sure, Psyche, but gotta anticipate there's more than one. We'll just put it that way. So, I think a little bit questionable. Fisher letting some of that confidence get to them. The good news is it's not as if that one round defines them.
No.
Ale's
gonna tuck into garage with the judge. Yeah, look, not every shotgun is the Bucky.
I know. Yeah. I'm too excited. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I wouldn't be excited if I was Croissant's friends watching this right now, though. Oh, he's backing off. Now I am excited. Please don't just contact into garage all alone. Please. Please don't do it, Croissant. You have so much to live for. Meanwhile, the other... That was a Fisher. Maybe not so much to live for. Oh, and Hales wings him. Now he's going for more. Wait, he's going to steal the gun away. Yoink. I mean, cost him quite a bit of his health, but the refract at least gets him out of there. Doesn't quite hit either, so nice re-clear and swing from Spongel's shirt. Whew.
I thought APL hit that. Holy cow.
APL glad that Kiwis cleared the corner. And a 3v2 favorable here.
Samo ahead. Oh,
Samo ahead. Wait, Samo good for 2. Spongel's shirt, I mean, 1v1 and has no information. Black Moose. Oh, can use the guided salvo to clear him out. Oh, but I think heard the drop too.
I do it.
Ready for it. Oh, that's a really bold not dead yet. You don't get away with that, Spongel's shirt.
Yeah. I mean, there's just no way in which that works. No way I think that works out.
You're relying on Black Moose's keyboard and mouse to die in that exact moment.
Yes. And, you know, Black Moose is a goat, so he still plays wired.
Oh my. All right. 10 on the board now for Fisher. And the economy in trouble for uOttawa. They will force into this. They have the Blade Storm to buffer it. But another op for Ale. We didn't get to see much of the op last time, but this time it is going to be A long, and that is where Ottawa are poised to try and strike. Oh, maybe not. They're pivoting back over the last second to see.
I'm gonna say though, if they actually did like duel in this area, it's not actually great for uOttawa with the Armageddon available. I like you, Muser. That's nice.
So far forward there. Good timing. And I mean, it's just Samo. Samo turned to Swiss cheese. Didn't know whether to look right or left. I have no idea when he got Croissant. Armageddon forces him off the plant. SpongeElf dodges the reveal too. Concuss is good, but there's so many players here. Black Moose can't possibly swing it. A decisive round for uOttawa.
That's nice. I mean, that's fantastic. That adjustment back from thinking about going towards A long, man, did they dodge a bullet there? Get the first duel. Psyche goes down, and while, you know, Samo does a good job, he's back gong, though, man. Like, there's nothing he can do if they just run him down, and that's what they actually decide to do. Samo goes 1 for 1, and, I mean, it's over from there. Once uOttawa make the correct call to take space into A link, it's simply over.
And we were singing about how worried we were for uOttawa's economy, but it was actually Fishers that had the death knell go off. They got pretty much squat here, especially now that that rifle drops to the floor. I mean, in most ecos, that'd be a good trade. But in this one, oh no, not another Bucky. Ale, don't do it again. Okay. Oh, but Psyche gets one. Hang on. Hang on, this is getting a little silly. Okay, at least they anticipate Ale.
No, no, no!
Not missing the one bullet!
No, Paul! They didn't have their guns. They couldn't shoot their primaries. Oh, the Steel Garden made that so, but yet still no bullets in the primary. Might as well been a pistol round. And Fisher steal it back. They had so very little to work with in that round. Twice over, once in the previous half and on the previous map as well, if we're going to be honest.
I'm getting flashbacks of the Bucky 2K from Lotus. That can be a round that breaks you in the morale. Ottawa, they don't have time to think about how they gave a thrifty over to Fisher, and they don't have time to think at all. The high-low stack. Who expects that?
Dude.
What happened to the round? Where did it go?
Paul, I turned away for a second and, hey, look, it's gone. Next round, GG go next, but they can't because it's the finals, because it's 12-9, because Fisher are up 2 maps. This is everything. 3 chances to extend play. It's not just win this map, it's now extend this map. uOttawa have it all to do.
To come back from 2 devastating rounds and to push for OT. uOttawa will have to put in a Herculean effort. Here comes the swing. God Bucky Abuser lit up like a Christmas tree. At least APL trades back in the middle of the map. And hey, Black Moose actually going a bit too far forward for what's good for him.
Untouchable, but Ale.
There goes the spike.
Yeah, in the meantime, just continuing to take fights. It seems like at this point, Fisher doesn't matter what the right play is. They're going in for it. Pass
Hindering though.
Last player standing.
I thought for sure that was giving away Ale's position. I mean, the drop certainly has. And even still, he gets it done. 4 on the round, 13 on the board, 3 for the maps, and a crown on their head. Fisher EU will be your Division 2 NECC Nationals Valorant champions.
Yeah, and listen, Fisher, as a whole, have been adding trophies to the cabinet over this past weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a 7th now in the last 3 days or something along those lines. Wow. It's been a pretty good weekend for the folks over there at that program. But man, for this Fisher EU team, I think we walk away from this, Paul, understanding how consistent this team has been over the course of this season, and they come to nationals and they prove it once again, all the way through the upper bracket. They look, not untouchable, right? They got pushed to a 3rd map. UCSC pushed them. uOttawa Gold pushed them a little bit. But here in the finals, I think we saw the top of their game. Even with, technically with the substitute, again, we don't put a lot of real promise in that. That's not really an issue.
Black Moose is more than good enough, and they sub him in all the time.
But it's still impressive.
Either way, a phenomenal series, a dominant one from Fisher. The only moments where it felt like they were a bit lost was maybe because they weren't used to playing the Waylay Harbor compositions. Everything else, they were at the exact top of their game. But that'll be about it for you and me, Vincent. Before we go, we got to thank all of our amazing sponsors, Wenzel and G Fuel. Don't forget, folks, to fuel your game with Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. No mess, no distractions, just bold protein-packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked, leading the squad, Wenzel's keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, and crush the competition. All throughout this week, you should crush the competition because, yes, that is it for Valorant, for our online portion of Nationals. But tomorrow, we have League of Legends at 8 p.m. Then on Wednesday, we've got CS2 and Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League Thursday, and not only do we have Overwatch 2 on Friday, Vincent, but the Nationals LAN in San Antonio, Texas, at the Boeing Center at Techport will be starting Friday, going throughout the weekend. There's going to be a whole slew of games there that you are going to need to keep your eyes on. Some of the heaviest hitters in every esport you can think of for the collegiate scene. So make sure we see you there in San Antonio in a few days. But for now, have a good night, and we'll catch y'all real soon.